This is the example video for graphing a line in point slope form. So you should have this sheet in front of you. And I'll zoom in. If you need extra space, because we will be manipulating these equations a little bit, please take this opportunity to pause the video and grab a scrap piece of paper. Okay, so I'm given y minus 5 equals negative 1 times x plus 4. Okay, so I know it's in point slope form right off the bat because the y and the x are on opposite sides of the equal sign, but the y is not alone. It's got this phi being subtracted from it. Also, another telltale sign that it's in point slope form, I have parentheses right here. Okay, so I'll get rid of those parentheses by distributing. So when I do that, I'm left with y minus 5 equals negative x minus 4, because I'm just multiplying everything in parentheses by this negative sign, or this negative 1. So my goal is to get it in slope-intercept form, so that means to get the y by itself. So at this point, I'll add 5 to both sides. And when I do that, negative 5 plus 5 cancels. So I'm left with y equals negative x plus 1. Okay, so it's in slope-intercept form, so I'll start at my y-intercept, which is positive 1. It appears my slope is just a negative sign, so that means it's negative 1. So that means I'll go down 1 to the right 1. Down 1 to the right 1. Or I could go up 1 and to the left 1. Up 1 and to the left 1. So I can make my line at this point. I will extend it in this direction. And I will add arrows to it. Okay, pause the video if you need more time. I'm moving on to the second one. So letter B. I've got y minus 5 equals 10 over 3 times x minus 3. So first off, I'll get rid of the parentheses. So I'll distribute. So I end up getting y minus 5 equals 10 over 3x. And now I've got 10 times negative 3, which is negative 30. So I'm going to take this negative 30 and divide by 3. So negative 30 divided by 3 is going to be negative 10. Okay, so that's just multiplying fractions together. 10 over 3 times negative 3 over 1. So now I'll add 5 to both sides. When I do that, negative 5 plus 5 cancels. So we have y equals 10 over 3x, and negative 10 plus 5 is negative 5. So this is now in slope-intercept form because the y is by itself. So I'll start at negative 5 on the y-axis because that is my y-intercept. And my rise is 10, so I'll go up 10 and to the right 3. Just like that. And now I can draw my line. And because it's going from negative infinity to positive infinity, goes on forever, in other words, I'll draw arrows. Okay, pause the video if you need more time. Letter C. So I've got y minus 1 equals 3 over 2 times x plus 2. So first step, let's get rid of those parentheses. So I will distribute, and that will leave me with y minus 1 equals 3 over 2x. Now 3 times 2 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So now I will add 1 to both sides to get the y by itself, so it will be in slope-intercept form. When I do that, negative 1 plus 1 cancels. So I'm left with y equals 3 over 2x plus 4. So I just added the 3 and the 1 together. So y is all by itself, x is on the other side. I'm good to go. I can graph this. So I'll start at my y-intercept, which is positive 4. And from there, I will go up 3 and to the right 2. Up 3 and to the right 2. Or I could go down 3 and to the left 2. Down 3 to the left 2. And now I can make my line connecting these points. And don't forget the arrows, because after all, this is a line. Okay, if I'm going too fast, feel free to stop, but I am moving on to letter D. Alright, no fractions for this one. Okay, y plus 1 equals 2 times x plus 1. So I'll first distribute that 2, and that'll leave me with y plus 1 equals 2x plus 2. From there, to get the y by itself, I've got plus 1, so I will subtract 1 from both sides. 1 minus 1 is 0. Hope you get that right. And on the right side, I'm left with 2x, and positive 2 minus 1 is positive 1. So I'll start at my y-intercept, which is 1. And my slope is 2, which is the same thing as 2 over 1, so I'll go up 2 to the right 1. Up 2 to the right 1. Or I could go down 2 and to the left 1. Okay. And then I will add my arrows. So that is what this line will look like. Okay, on to E. Okay, looking at this one, it might not look like it's in point slope form, but it is. Okay. Remember how we can tell if an equation or a linear equation is in point slope form. Y and x are on opposite sides of the equal sign, so that's a check for us, and y is not by itself, and y right here has 3 being added to it. So yeah, technically, even though there aren't parentheses, this is in point slope form. So all I have to do here to get the y by itself is subtract 3 and subtract 3. And when I do that, write my new equation over here, I'm left with y equals negative x minus 3. No distributing required there because we did not have parentheses. So I'll start at my y-intercept, which is negative 3, and my slope appears to just be a negative sign, so that will be negative 1 over 1, so I'll go down 1 to the right one, down 1 to the right one, down 1 to the right one, or I could go up 1 to the left one, up 1 to the left one. And that's enough points for me, so I'll make my line. And extend it in both directions. Because it goes from negative infinity to positive infinity, I need to put arrows. And I know I'm at least on the right track because my slope was negative and my line is going down from left to right. Okay? Almost done. On to the last example. Okay, so I have y plus 5 equals 4 over 5 times x plus 5. So I've got parentheses this time, so I know I need to distribute. So that'll leave me with y plus 5 equals 4 over 5x, and 4 times 5 is 20. 20 divided by 5 is going to be a positive 4. So to get the y by itself, I'll subtract 5 from both sides. When I do that, 5 minus 5 cancels. So I'm left with y equals 4 over 5x, and positive 4 minus 5 is negative 1. So it's in slope-intercept form now because the y is by itself and x is on the opposite side of the equal sign. So I'll start at my y-intercept, which is negative 1. And I will go up 4 and to the right 5. Up 4 and to the right 5. Or I could go down 4 and to the left 5. Down 4 more and to the left 5. Now I'll draw one big line connecting all my dots, or my points. And the arrows are always a nice addition. Okay. At this time, I recommend that you move on to the graphing a line point slope worksheets.